Hi everyone. Today's topic is internal forces, and this is very important for your lectures coming up. You're going to be a little bit more confused for the lectures, so I want you to pay attention, ask the questions whenever you have problems, so we can over it right today. So first, we're going to start with the topics we learned before. Until now, you learned about external forces and the laws that were acting on your rigid bodies or the beams or any shapes you had, and then we were calculating the external reactions on the body, right? Let's assume you had a reaction supports here, and these forces, two forces, W and M, acting on top, were making you to calculate the reaction forces. So how you were calculating? You were just using the equilibrium formulas and then Seelik reactions. Now, for internal forces, you have to understand that these forces are actually going inside these rigid bodies from the top until it reaches to the reaction supports. And each one of these elements, particles, or you can call them molecules, are taking some forces. This W applies here, then the next, and the next, and then until it reaches the last point, right? So internal forces is calculating these forces inside each one of these elements or molecules. Now, why these are important? Because internal forces determine the size, shape, and cross section of your rigid body. So assume in civil engineering, you're going to have a beam, right? If you don't know the internal forces, you cannot find out what kind of shape for your beam you're going to be. It's going to be a triangle or it's going to be square, how much material you need, what is the size of your beam, how much is it going to cost. These are all important things that you have to consider as an engineer for your structure, right? So knowing internal forces is going to be the best help for you. Now, how do we solve the internal forces? First method is finite element, but we're not gonna go over this method in the course. It's gonna be different courses coming up if you take a civil engineering major, and you will understand it later. Second method is similar to what you had before. Remember in the truss section, you had a truss like this, and then to find the internal forces in these three members, you had to just cut, expose your internal forces, and then from there calculate them using equilibrium formulas. Exactly same thing we're gonna follow here, similar to trusses, method of section. You're gonna cut your rigid body, expose your internal forces, and calculate your internal forces using the equilibrium formulas. Now, what are we talking about? Let's see. Let's assume that we have this beam here and we want to find the internal forces right here. So we have to find our free body diagram at the beginning. First step to solve this question is going to be finding free body diagram. And next, you're going to cut it up exactly where you want to find the internal forces. You're going to end up with these internal forces exposed, and all of these forces should have a sign, right? Properly signed. They're going to be positive and negative. How we're going to find out? You'll see it in the next slides. Each one of these forces are called different names. These are axial forces, these are shear forces, and the third one actually is not a force, and it's a moment. So let's go over each one of them separately. Axial forces are always parallel to your member, and it could be in tension or compression. Similar to cables, which are always in tension, and then truss members exactly same. We had both of them, right? Now, shear forces are perpendicular to your member. You see that? They're perpendicular. And again, up, down, directed up and down, it's going to make your positive or negative signs. Now, moments, there's going to be two moments. We have torque and bending moment. We're not going to talk about torque in this course. We're going to go over bending moment only. You'll have, when you apply a force, take your book and apply force in the middle and hold it from the side. That force is going to push your beam down and it's going to sag your beam, or you're going to make a happy face, which is going to be your positive moment, or it's going to make a sad face and it's going to be your negative moment, right? We will go over sign convention again. Now, what are the sign convention for internal forces? It's very important that you distinguish between the point convention and internal force conventions here. So in point convention, we were saying if the force is pushing your point, it's compression, it pulls it, it's tension, and when you have a counterclockwise rotation, you have a positive moment, right? Now, forget about this. We're going to have a second sign convention here, which is for internal forces. I don't want you to confuse these two things together. Now, for axial force, similar to trusses, when you have two force coming out of your member and it's pulling it, it's called tension and positive. Pushing in, compression, and negative. For shear force, if your forces are making a clockwise rotation, it's positive. See, this is the difference. Clockwise rotation, positive. And if these shear forces are making a counterclockwise rotation, it's called negative. Torque, again, we're not going to go through it for the moment. As I said from the previous slide, smiley face, going to be positive. Sad face, negative, right? Now, I want you to remember the shape here. This is very important. It's going to make your life easier. Just every example, put this down and then calculate your, put your sign convention correctly. Now, here, if we cut the member here and we take two of them apart, you see here, assuming this is one shape and this is one shape, right? This is coming exactly from this convention and this one comes exactly from this convention. Very easy. Just remember this shape. How are we going to analyze? What is the procedure to finding our internal forces? Again, easy steps. Follow the step. You're not going to make any mistake. First step, draw free body diagram. First and important step for our draw free body diagram, find your support reaction. Second, slice your free body into two sections at the point that you want to find internal forces. Apply your internal forces using that sign convention that we had. Add your equilibrium formulas, and then solve for your unknowns. That's it. All set. We're going to go for example, very fast example. We have this beam, and we're going to find internal forces at C. First thing, free body diagram. Second thing, support reactions. How we're going to find them? Using our reactions, right? Sigma fx equals to 0, sigma fy equal to 0, sigma m equal to 0. Now, do we need these reaction forces here? No. So in our example here, we don't need it here. Why? Because remember the trusses, when we were cutting them, we were getting rid of one part and then we were solving to the other part, right? Same thing here in the rigid bodies. Now we cut it at C, we got rid of this part and we're solving it for here, for the right side. We don't need reactions here in the right part, right? We don't have them even. Now, at point C, expose internal forces. Sign convention remembered, that summary table, VC, NC, MC. Put down your equilibrium formulas and solve it. Sigma fx equals to 0, you have a negative NC plus 25 cosine 30, which is this forces. It's going to be 0, then your NC is 21.7 kilonewton tension. Same thing for VC and MC, and you're going to end up with those numbers. Now, as a summary of the results, you're going to put down your cut section, apply your forces, 25 and 50. Now, internal forces at C, you had a positive 21.7. What was the positive sign? Coming out of the section, right? So tension, positive 21.7, it comes out. Positive VC, 62.5. It's going upward. Why? Your positive convention again. Remember it. Positive going upward, 62.5. And then you have an MC, which is negative, right? What does it mean? Convention was happy face. Now, MC is negative 225. You're going to have a sad face of 225 kilonewton per meter. So that's it. Easy way to solve internal forces. Just follow these steps. You're not going to make any mistake. And any question gets complicated, it's not going to get out of any of these steps. You have to just follow the steps and find your examples. So that's it for today. I hope nobody has any problems. If you have any questions, just come back to me. I'll be available and I can answer each one of your questions. Hopefully we will go through the relationship between internal forces next session, and that's gonna make your life easier if you understand this section. So have fun and see you next week.